Hey, it's Naima and Miss Adrienne Furrie, who she walked away for a moment because we actually thought that we had already gone live and we were waiting for Facebook to build the audience. And I realized when I walked away and I was checking on my phone. Hey, it's Naima and Miss Adrienne Furrie. I keep doing this. Funniest thing. But when I was checking my phone to see that we actually were live and that the audience was being built, I realized that no, I hadn't pushed the final button for us to go live to Facebook. So we're here and the audience is building as we're speaking. So we are just going to keep it moving because I really want to use our time here as efficiently as possible because man, has this time been going by quickly. So I feel like people have heard my introduction a billion times already, even though I've only done it 3 times. So I'll say it very quickly. And then Adrienne, I want you to share with us who you are and your intention here with us today. And so, as I've said before, I'm a visionary wealth coach, a multiple 6-figure visionary wealth coach who went from $7 on my mother's couch to living here in Paris, working with women all over the world, built a successful and continue to build a successful online coaching business. And I help other women who want the lifestyle of doing global business that allows you to live everywhere and really come into your power around money and womanhood. I support visionary women entrepreneurs in doing that. And so I'm here, my intention here with this series is to connect with more women globally, to do it collaboratively with these powerful women that I've handpicked, and to call in more women who want to transform their life and their relationship with money at a core and permanent level, whether that's coming here to work with me in Paris or us working together virtually. So that's a bit about who I am and my intention. And Miss Adrienne Furrie, tell us, who are you and what's your intention here today?
Hi, Naima, and everyone that is here with us. So who I am, briefly, like super fast, I am Adrienne Furrie. I am living here in Canada. This is home in Calgary, Canada. And much like Naima, how you help women transform their relationship with money, I really help women transform their relationship with beauty and owning what they see in the mirror. And so what I really want to, my intention today is to really give you, the viewers, everyone that's out there, and every woman that I have the opportunity to speak with, permission to want to look good and to not apologize for that. Because I think that there is so much and we'll get into this in a minute, but I feel there's so much tension. It's like, so many women it's like they're suffering in silence. It's, they have this, they look in the mirror and the dialogue that they have with themselves is not happy. They know who they are on the inside is this amazing, dynamic, powerful, sexy, this woman that has so much potential. And then what she sees reflected in the mirror it's such a disconnect. It's like, who is this in the mirror? This isn't me. But then running simultaneously is this dialogue that says, oh, but it's vain. I'm not supposed to care what I look like. And I think that is such bullshit. Naima, you and I have known each other for a while now. And you've asked me this before, what makes me mad? And more, it's this, it makes me mad. There's this contradiction that's going on, and it keeps women so stuck. They're stuck, So anyway, so that's, I've got I could go for the next 45 minutes straight up.
You could do an entire weekend retreat or a 90-day coaching program. And if you really got into it, you could probably do a whole year-long program.
Yes.
So thank you. So your intention here is to help women really own their desire to be vain. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah. And and to reframe, not to use kind of lingo here, but to take away the negative feeling around, I guess, vanity. Vanity is a pretty extreme word. It's a fairly, it's a word that comes loaded, I think, sometimes with some negativity. And to kind of reclaim that word as it's not only okay, but it's actually good. It's good for you. It's beneficial for you. It's beneficial for, your family, your loved ones, your career, your ability to attract money and respect and all those things. It's not only okay, it's actually necessary.
Yes. Thank you so much for saying this. You're lighting my fire because one thing I don't talk about much is this natural. I came to Italy when I was 21 to study fashion design. And I'm not going to get off into the details, but I have a personal affinity for dressing well, dressing fabulously. I mean, I did a video in Italy, maybe like 10 months ago, that was all about dressing well and strutting your ass as a means to develop confidence, you know? So I am totally with you on this. So Adrienne and I, part of our intentions here is to be able to work with those of you who want to go beyond a 45-minute conversation. So we are entrepreneurs who are in the business of helping other women entrepreneurs up their game, whether it's upping their game around money, upping their game around their visual presentation. So if you feel the desire to connect with either one of us beyond this, with the video, we will share with you how to get in contact with either one of us, okay? So since you are mad or on fire about this subject, I would love to hear where you would like to start with this. I mean, I have a lot that I can share, but I'd love to see where you'd like to start with this, Adrienne.
Wow. Where would I like to start with this?
Right. You know, and before you start, I want to say this. While we're talking, everyone, if you have a question or something that you want us to elaborate on and talk about or answer, just go ahead and post it in the comments on the video. As soon as you have the question, go ahead and post it, because at any random moment, I'm going to go there and check for questions and comments. And if I see something that I feel like needs to be shared, or it's a direct question, I'm going to read it out loud so we can answer. So do that at any time you feel like it. Okay, go ahead, Adrienne. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's like a good, I don't know if this is, maybe a jumping off point, and it's probably just going to kind of support and perhaps reiterate a little bit what we've been talking about already. But like, Naima, when I saw you, when I first met you, just being in your presence I was like, who is this woman? Like, you got my attention like nobody had got my attention in days. And, and of course, you then had to back it up. Of course, I mean, no one's suggesting that it's what we present on the outside is the end all be all. Right. But there is absolutely no doubt that the power of, the visual image, that visual representation that we put out into the world, right, the power and the capacity that it has to draw the right people to us. Like, Naima, I was so drawn to you, and it was a big part of what kind of pulled me into finding out more about you. It made me curious about you. And, and I've had now, obviously my own experiences with clients when, after we've worked together for a little bit, or even when we're first speaking and getting to know each other a little bit, I'll often ask them, like, why me? Like, what was it that drew you to me? And more often than not, it has to do with kind of my presence, my way of being. Like, there was something about the way I carried myself, the way, sometimes it is specifics around clothes, but that's not really what I hear from people. It's more about like that whole picture. And so I guess, so maybe the conversation that you and I could have around that is, what's your experience with that?
Yeah, I want to hear. So I want to hear the specifics of when you and I met at the first time in Vegas, right? That was it. Yeah. And what you saw, what you felt like, because I think this is universal. I don't think this is just me, who people see me, or clients who see you. I would love to hear you talk about the things that people tell you. Like, I can tell you the things that people tell me, which I think are universal and can be cultivated in each woman. And so I'll go there, and then I want to hear what you have to say too. Yeah. So what I hear from women who, because I'll ask women as soon as they sign up with me, or, in an email or whatever, what brought you this way? What drew me this way? And oftentimes my clients or prospective clients tell me they just knew. Now that's an intuitive thing. And when I dig into what it is that they knew, they were saying your presence, the way you communicate yourself, the way you looked at me. So obviously that's if we're in person, if someone says that, the way you looked at me, the way you carry yourself, the clarity with which you spoke, the way you spoke, these kinds of things. And so, Adrienne, let's go deeper down into that. Like, how does that even happen? How do you talk in a way that's clear? Because that's talking, right? Because there's the visual, which you can communicate with no words, just what you adorn your body with. But then when it comes time to back it up with words, a presentation, a sales call, whatever, a webinar, then we're talking, right? And the deeper part of you starts to reveal itself. Yeah. So My experience, first of all, there's a book I want to recommend called Conscious Language, first of all. And I did a video on this too. I have a video, a YouTube channel called Opulent Living. And I created a video there that I think the title, because I did this over a year ago, I think it's called How to Heal Yourself Using Queen's Language. And the reason why I'm able to not only speak, but write so clearly and powerfully and precisely is because I've cultivated that inner relationship. I call it a relationship with God. And I've practiced what I call radical honesty. There's also a book called Radical Honesty, which is amazing, and I highly recommend it. But I practice radical honesty. So the way we are sort of drawn to videos that are like homemade, where people are at home sort of being who they really are, a lot of those videos go viral because they're honest. And what happens when we get into business is that, first of all, we forget honesty because we think we need to be a certain way. But also, I think a lot of us are riddled with shame, fear of what other people think, which has been a thread throughout this entire series, Adrienne.
Yeah.
Riddled with fear, shame, and worried about what other people will think. So that causes them to dumb down and to go quiet and to play small. And so when women come to me and they're ready to play a bigger game around money, this ends up being the stuff that we talk about. And then we have to transform on purpose. And so then when you start to transform this and you start to learn how to write well, like I'm coaching some clients now around killer copy. And killer copy is really copy that moves people. And the only way you can write copy that moves people is when you're able to get intimate with yourself, be radically honest with yourself, be unapologetically visible, so then you can share it with the marketplace. And when you can do that with words and with how you dress, being fearless, then you walk in a room and before you even open your mouth, people are saying what Adrienne said when she saw me, who is that woman? Before I even open my mouth. And then I'll let you take it from there, Adrienne, what it was like for you. So you can share with them what it was like when you saw me and then share what people tell you about when they meet you.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's really a lot of what you just said. Like it's so much of it is, how a woman enters a room, how, the eye contact that you're prepared to make, the power of your voice and all those kinds of things. And what's really at the heart of all that is confidence and kind of like what you said, knowing yourself. And so, in order to be able to comfortably and confidently get out into our world, we need to feel comfortable and confident about ourselves, which is where so much of this kind of starts at home in front of the mirror. And like what I hear from women is, it's like if there's any hesitation or doubt around something like as kind of seemingly insignificant as how you look, and I put quotes around that, of course, because it's not insignificant, it takes up so much mental space. Like it creates this mental chatter that's going on that all of a sudden takes us out of being present. So instead of like Naima walking into that room like she owned that space, there can be this like hesitancy. There can be this, I call it dressing for invisibility, where it's like, and you kind of alluded to it too, where, particularly like in any kind of environment where we're feeling nervous. So typically like, being out in public, either going to like a business event, or maybe if we're out trying to meet like, a potential partner, something like that, there can be this desire for nervous to want to become invisible and to just like blend in. And that can be from this fear of like what you said around people judging, right? And so again, what I see happening for people around clothes is it's like, well, I don't want to take a risk. It's easier to kind of hide. And, and if I don't take a risk, then no one's going to judge me and I can't make mistakes. But the problem is it's not you, right? Like it's this kind of like bland vanilla, I don't know, like shroud that you put over yourself. Yeah. And then, there's all these like ripple effects of it. Like, so you're not showing up really like who you are. When you speak, it's like, you don't have this like kind of confidence and energy and passion behind your voice. Right. And then people don't remember you, or they don't even hear you. It's like, oh, excuse me, I need some. And it's like people just talk over your head and, like where you've met someone 5 times and they don't remember you. Like how insulting is that, right? Well, on some levels, because you kind of know, well, like, I'm not showing up really as who I am. I'm not bringing me to the table. I'm just this kind of like bland vanilla version of not even myself. I'm just like in this box being so safe, you know? So yeah, so I mean, with Naima, to kind of circle back to your question, like, so all of that drew me to you, but then specifics around the appearance, I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, here is a woman who like clearly loves fashion,
Yes.
clearly takes a ton of pleasure in like adorning herself, and like really, like, I could just imagine you at home getting ready, like doing your hair and your makeup and like going through your clothes, and like I could just see you. And then when I found out where you lived, like I think at the time you were in Italy.
Yes, yes.
And I was like, oh my God, even better. And then, you know, and then we started talking. I was like, oh my God, like this lady's amazing. Like, who is this person?
And so what happens is, I want to speak to that, Adrienne.
Yeah.
What it is when you're drawn to, either drawn to or repelled by. I want to be clear about that too, because Adrienne was drawn to me because she had, inside of her, she already was very clear that she valued a woman who took delight and care in how she adorned her body. Then if you're a woman who is hiding behind not looking good, or you judge other women who do put forth concerted, caring attention toward their physical appearance, so if you have not owned it, typically that is where the judgment comes in, and the shaming, and the, oh, it's not that big a deal. I don't need to look good. That's just being vain, or that's just being shallow, or that's just, you know, and then you end up being the person who, as Adrienne said, you're ignored. People meet you 7 times and they forget you. They forget your name. You've been in their room with them for like 6 months, and they're like, oh, I never saw you. Oh, sorry. You know, like that kind of a thing, you know, and it's because we have very valid reasons for wanting to hide. We do. I want to just acknowledge that many of us have gone through things where we feel we're right to want to hide. You know, I was bullied as a teenager.
Yeah.
Even before I was a teenager, I was bullied, you know?
Yeah.
And so that is part of the reason why I was hiding when I first started in this business. And so I had to go through my own healing. And so that's what I know what it looks like. And because I'm someone who always has loved fashion, it's like once I got over that visibility thing, oh, honey, it was on. I mean, Adrienne, for that outfit when you and I first met, darling, I was at Bloomingdale's in New York City shopping for that outfit, okay?
I remember it was like the shorts and like that. I was just like, I totally remember that outfit.
I went from Italy to New York, and I mean the whole shebang for because you know I was a sponsor, so I was speaking, and then I had all this stuff going on. So I got outfits for every single day. I'm serious. I got outfits for every single day, and I remember the dress I wore when I was speaking. Got that from Bloomingdale's, and the dress and the. I mean, man, it's a thing. And you know how many compliments I was getting every single day at that event, every single day from people. I remember I had on this sort of coralish fuchsia dress that I got tons. So when you get your inner game in order, which is where I want us to go next, so that then we can really multiply it and turn up the volume with our appearance.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole you wearing your clothes versus your clothes wearing you, right? You ever see a woman wearing a dress and you're like, she shouldn't be wearing that. Something is off, you know? Then you see a woman in a dress and you're just like, girl, you know?
Yeah.
So I would love to hear what you have to say about that, about matching, cultivating your internal confidence, and then turning up the volume with your external appearance, so that when you walk in a room, they're already listening to you and you haven't even started talking yet.
Yeah, it's so true. And like, I think, you know, so I'd say probably some of my favorite, most ready clients that I've ever worked with are the ones that have already done a lot of the internal work. Like they've been working with a life coach. They've been working with like a mindset coach, or someone like you, Naima, like someone that's already helped to start them to shift into this state of being where they're starting to really see that potential, and that shift is starting to happen for them. Yeah. Having said that though, I certainly will see people that come in where maybe they haven't done that work, but it's on their radar, you know, like this is someone, like I loved what you were saying around someone that isn't, I can't remember exactly how you said it, but someone who hasn't quite started to, they're kind of in denial around it for themselves. Like they're not owning their own kind of power potential or kind of whatever. They're judging. Yeah, those people where it's kind of like, no, you know, I know that those people are not, they're not ready. It's not, and maybe they never will be, and that's okay. And you know, I also want to echo what you said too around most of us, almost all of us have very, you know, we have reasons for kind of wanting to be invisible. Like maybe we've, you know, I've had clients, more than a few clients talk about having attracted like negative male attention, right? Like they've been, you know, I've never pressed for details. It's never been part of our work, but I know that there's been bad situations with men in the past, or they've been in a work environment that's predominantly male, like engineering and accounting and some of these type of fields, where again, it can be delicate because you want people to be seeing you, especially in a professional context like that, for the skills that you bring to the table. You know, so again, like there can be a lot of kind of layers and nuances to all this stuff, and I really get that. Like I really understand how nuanced all of this can be. Yeah. But when you can start to really own that, you know, I've kind of lost track of your question, but like, you know, it all does have to start from the inner. Like you can't, like what you said, you know, this isn't, and this is where I see, I think, women, sorry, I'm jumping ahead, I'm thinking faster, I'm speaking faster than thinking. Women go shopping because they know that there's something, there's like this yearning. It's like, oh, I need something. I'm not happy with what I see. And so be this kind of like piecemeal effort where it's like, I'm going to go get a new lipstick, or I'm going to go buy I'm going to go get a new outfit. And so they go, and then they get it home, and it's kind of like, oh, everything's still the same. It's still me in the mirror. And it's not this big shift that they're really looking for. And because what it is with the people that I end up working with, and I know it's the same thing for you with the people you're working with too, these women are hungry for more. It's like, this isn't just about a new lipstick. This is it's a way bigger conversation and a way bigger shift that's taking place. And so, you know, you've got to have that inner game kind of work rolling first and in conjunction as you're going through all the work on the outside. Otherwise, you're going to end up looking and feeling like that lady that's wearing the dress where you're like, yeah, no, that dress is wearing you. You're not wearing that dress.
Yeah, or what I've seen a lot with women who think that only the exterior matters is they look really done up, right? Mm-hmm. They have their makeup done, they have their everything done, but they're not shining. You know, there's nothing that's, there's illuminate. There's another word I'm looking for. What's the word? Anyway, they're just, you can see that on the inside, they're not well.
Yeah.
You know? So this is why having both pieces is so important. So what I want to talk about is doing this on purpose. This is what I want to talk about, because this Wielding Your Power series is about wielding your powers. It's about consciously deciding that, look, I'm going to a speaking gig today, or I want to be magnetic to, or what I call be fuckable.
Earmuffs, ladies. But yeah, no, it's true though, right? It's so true.
If you're a single woman, or you're newly divorced, or right, and you are on purpose about magnetizing a man, and you have no interest in, you know, being one of those, you know, women who are chasing men or whatever, and you really want to use that power, you know, so I'm talking about feminine power here, right? Yeah. So you're harnessing both your internal ability and your external ability in doing this on purpose. So we can talk first about from the perspective of business, because I feel like a lot of who we're talking to right now are women entrepreneurs. And so, for example, I'll use the Vegas example because since we've been talking about it. So I knew that I was going to be speaking at this event. It was a 3-day business event, and I knew that women from all over the world were going to be there, or at least all over the United States, and that I was going to be speaking to about maybe 300 women, right? And I know me. right? I know I love fashion. I know I make my own rules. So obviously as an entrepreneur, I might be different from an engineer. I've had clients who are engineers who obviously want to dress differently than an independent entrepreneur who makes her own rules, dresses how she wants to dress, etc. So I'm speaking from an entrepreneurial perspective. So I knew I wanted to be professional and professional looking, but I didn't want to, I'm not a prude. I'm not someone who walks around in slacks, suits and like that kind of a thing. I like a jacket, but I'm not into a whole slack jacket situation. And so when I went shopping, I knew I wanted to exude professional and sexy. Okay. I wanted to have that magnetic appeal. I wanted to have that feminine allure, but I also wanted to look like a woman who had her shit together. Okay. Professional and have that look. Because again, I'm going to talk to professional women entrepreneurs. So what I specifically got, and this was very on purpose, I specifically got a jacket to wear when I was speaking on top of a dress that was sleeveless and it crisscrossed. Remember, it was a navy dress, Adrienne, that crisscrossed like that. And then I had on this, maybe it was a bronze color. It was like a coffee with cream color, like coffee with heavy cream color jacket that cropped here at the sleeve. And it was long. And then I belted it with this sequined type dress to have that glamorous look because my brand is Opulent Living. So it was me consciously, believe me, it was all on purpose, the accessories, the everything. And then the day before and the day after, because remember it was a 3-day event, the day before I wore this a very feminine coral sexy dress, like coral fuchsia dress, beautiful, that I got tons of compliments on. Then I wore the outfit I just described to you for the speaking, which was the second day. And then the third day I wore this white short outfit, which also was a jacket, but it was shorts and it was linen. The outfit was a linen cotton with a sleeveless situation. And I had on stilettos every day because like Beyonce's mom says, just always wear heels. You walk differently, you walk more erect, you know, and more authority of your posture and your body when you wear heels. Yeah. So whenever you are either going to speak professionally, especially if you're talking for a shorter period of time, sometimes when you're speaking for a long period of time, maybe your feet start hurting and maybe you won't have a chair. So you want to have maybe some kitten shoes or maybe some flats. But if you can get away with heels, but definitely you will subconsciously be in much more authority over your body, which is obviously important when you're on stage and you're speaking and conveying. And then that inner game, right? None of this matters. My outfit doesn't matter. What comes out of my mouth, none of it matters. And none of it will influence people and convey me as an authority, the authority that I am, the authority that you are, if the inner game is, how do I look? Are people gonna, right? And that's why having someone like Adrienne who can help you get that outwork going on, so that when you are working with somebody like me or somebody like me, getting that inner game together. When you put the two together, you walk in a room and people are saying, "Who is she? Who is that woman?" And when you speak, they're ready to buy and they don't even know it yet. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So what tips can we give people to walk away with? Women who have this chatter going on, who feel like they aren't hot, and hot doesn't necessarily mean cleavage, unless that's your thing. Okay.
Nothing wrong with cleavage.
Nothing wrong with cleavage. I love cleavage. So what can women do to up their magnetism and up their femininity and up their influence? Look like money. That's my advice. Look like money.
Look like money. Yeah. Some key tips here. And, first of all, know that that it is not wrong to care about this. Like, I really think that is one of the most fundamental shifts that women need to wrap their head around. Like, if that's your story, let it go, because it is slowing you down. It is causing you pain. And like at the worst, it's causing you pain and it's slowing you down. But otherwise, at a bare minimum, it is slowing you down. It is stopping you from fully being able to wield that power and to really get what you want. So change that story, and start to also, another story is, know that being beautiful is for everyone. Like, to look beautiful is not for everyone but you. Like, that's another thing that can kind of be shocking to me when I meet someone, and it's like, if I talk to them about, well, how, do you think that being beautiful is possible for you? Or how do you feel about the word beauty? And they'll be like, oh no, no. That's not, no, I've never been beautiful. I've always been the plain one, and I'm okay with that. It's like, no, like, and everyone's definition of beauty is so different. Like, I love how Naima dresses. I think she's a stunning, beautiful woman, but am I going to dress like that? No. And, do I have coach people to all be like an army of me? No, like, find your own inner beauty. And I
love your style. You have a what I call like a simple chicness about you.
Yeah.
You had on this index ring the other day. I love that. You have like this clean, simple chic. Very French, actually. French woman. Very French, your style. Yeah.
Thank you. I've got I have a minor obsession with all things French.
I think it's a little bit more than minor.
So yeah, and so know that it's very, very, very doable, and that it's not as hard as I think so many women think it is. Like, it is. It's just those few little tweaks. It's the mindset tweaks are huge. And then it's just these little tweaks and starting to understand, like, oh, this isn't so complicated. I've made this out to be this humongously impossible thing that is like, I can't even go there. I don't have time. I don't have the money, right? Like, all the kind of the normal excuses, no time, no money. I don't have a reason to, like, whatever. It's like, no, that's all bullshit excuse. Right? And then some easy, quick things like,
until you do have a reason, right? It's like, it's like, you feel like you have nothing, and then all of a sudden you got this business meeting, or all of a sudden you get invited to something where you need to dress, and then you're like, fuck.
Then it's panic mode. Like, oh, now I need to get a photo shoot done for my website. Holy mother of fucking pearl. I'm like, it's a meltdown. And I think so much of the stress and anxiety for women around those photo shoots is like, oh my God, what do I do with my hair? How do I do my makeup? What do I wear? Because they recognize, like, I need to look like me, right? Like, that's always something I tell people if I'm helping them get ready for something like that, is like, it's got to be you. Yeah. It's got to be a sustainable, consistent version of you. Yeah. But you still want to bring your A game and A+ game, maybe, for photos, So yeah, but you don't want to be waiting till it's like a week out from the photo shoot or a week before, and all of a sudden it's like, it's panic time. Because then, I mean, sometimes things are good.
I have a question I'd love to hear you answer from your stylist expertise. And also, we are finishing this video in 10 minutes. So if you have a question about style, fashion, seducing men, seducing men, wielding your powers, owning a room as a speaker, owning any room, like walking in and being like, where everywhere you go, you own it. Ask those questions, okay? What I'd like to hear, Adrienne, is, do you have certain go-to, whether it's makeup, clothing, accessories, mantra, anything, any go-tos for upping confidence or upping magnetism? Any go-tos?
Definitely high heels, like heels for sure. I mean, that's why I was smiling when you said that quote, that Beyonce's mom quote or whatever. And like my tips guide that I have, for anyone that joins up with my list, it's one of the things that's on there. It's like, wear high heels. Like, whenever you need to really be in your power, sometimes even when I'm online and you can't even see me from the waist down, if I'm feeling like a little kind of like I need to really own it, I'll put on some heels. And like there's something about high heels. Other lipstick, like I think like from a makeup standpoint, lipstick and eyebrows. Like, this isn't a makeup tutorial, so we won't go into like a ton of depth.
Eyebrows are so important. Would you please elaborate on the necessity of eyebrows?
Oh my God, eyebrows are huge. Like, if I was online right now and I didn't have my eyebrows done, like I'm blonde, like I have no eyebrows, and doing your eyebrows is one of the fastest things it's like the shortest amount of effort for the biggest amount of payoff. Like, eyebrows make such a difference. the style of eyebrows right now, I don't know about what's going on over where you are in Paris, but like eyebrows right now in North America anyway are like very blocky, very square. They can be pretty intense. That doesn't mean that everyone needs to be doing their eyebrows like this. So don't necessarily feel like eyebrows needs to be the ultra trendy kind of younger girl. So really.
Why are the eyebrows important, Adrienne? Why?
Oh God. So eyebrows are so important. They frame the face. So they help to make the eye space seem even bigger and more alluring. So we always talk about, the windows are the eyes to the soul. When someone's got like a sparkle to their eye, when we're speaking and we really want to be holding attention, we look at people's eyes. And so having eyebrows from like a kind of business strategic standpoint, it helps to really keep focus on you. I don't know if other people do this.
It's more visually appealing.
Oh God, it's visually appealing.
People don't realize it's a totally subconscious thing unless you're into, like, some people are really into eyebrows. So like makeup people, style people who care about, like, they're always looking at this stuff. So they're going to see it and notice it. Then the people who don't really care about it, they notice it subconsciously. They notice that you don't look put together is what they know.
Yes.
So all these things, your nails, your hair, your makeup, your skin looks. I actually read an article. Actually, I think it was either you, maybe you shared this article about women who are more well-groomed, make more money than women who are not.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes, there's like studies out there that have, and it's not about being pretty or beautiful. It has nothing to do with like
being groomed.
It's about being groomed. And because being groomed speaks to subconsciously, like what Naima is talking about, these subconscious messaging, it speaks to attention to detail. Yes. It speaks to professionalism. It speaks
trustworthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like it speaks to self-respect. And it's like if you don't have the self-respect to take care of yourself, why should anyone else pay attention to you?
Why should anybody give you their $10,000?
Well, yeah, exactly.
To work with you. Why should anybody pay you when you don't even care enough to put yourself together well?
Yeah. So this isn't about, especially in a business context, it's not about being pretty. Like obviously when we're talking about being fuckable, then it's about being like alluring and sexy. Like I love, like my favorite, like I'm all about teaching day makeup, simple, chic, whatever, but I love teaching glam, sexy. Like it is go time makeup is so fun because it's like, because it's so much about the energy behind how you're showing up, right? Like, and it's like, so using makeup to tap into your sensuality and your sexuality, like kind of heavy bedroom eyes and glowing skin and like kissable lips and all that kind of stuff, right? Like the kind of makeup that like draws someone in, not where your partner's like, oh God, get all that sparkly whatever from you, right?
I want to address some questions that we have here in the group.
Sure.
So we have here, Kristen says, timing of this is perfect. Yesterday, my mom told me, as only a mother can, that the shirt I wore was the most unflattering thing she has seen me wear. Even if I was 40 pounds lighter, this is a good confidence boost, stepping into the power of holding attention, but in a positive way. Yes, letting go of the personal hurt and taking that's helpful advice. You're very welcome. And she says, love all that you do, Adrienne. So you can go back and give her a shout out when you go back to the group. Natasha says, sexy is a way of being. It's raining and my windows are open. Tips for attracting a man, what? This is important, but what you are suggesting for a deeper attraction on various levels of vulnerability. Wait. Tips for attracting a man you like for more than erotic attraction. This is important, but what are you suggesting for a deeper attraction connection on various levels of interest? So I think Ariel is asking, aside from the physical, how do you attract a man? How do you attract, beyond the visual, if I'm understanding this correctly, how do you have deeper attraction, connection with a man? So like that's a totally different conversation. But one thing I will say is confidence. Confidence is with a man who wants to be with a woman, confidence, knowing who you are and being that unapologetically. You want to say something quickly about that?
I just completely agree with everything you just said. Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is. So how can people get a hold of you, Adrienne? For women who we perhaps want to fly to Canada, Yeah, I said Canada. And work with you, or even virtually, because you do work with clients virtually, right?
Yeah.
And helping them to consciously put together an attractive and professional wardrobe, whether you're an entrepreneur, a CEO, working for someone else, or you're looking to get your confidence up and your, fuckable factor up. And here's the thing, remember, men are visual. So even if you're smart and loving and loyal and a good woman and all that, they're going to be attracted to you visually first. So if you're not visually appealing, they're not going to get to know the deeper you. Yeah. Men are visual creatures. That's the reality. Get over it. All right. Once you allure them with your physical, then you start to show and communicate who you are and be confident with them in the duration of your relationship and the time you spend together. And that's a whole other conversation. So how can folks get a hold of you?
Yeah, you bet. So there's going to be a link attached with this video that can take you to receive a very quick kind of tip sheet that just has some of these quick, easy little points that we were just talking about. So reach out there. And then also if you want, shoot me an email if you'd like to connect and have a discussion, talk one-on-one. Shoot me an email at adrienne@adriennefurrie.com. I would love to connect with you. I work with tons of people online, through Zoom and all these things. So don't feel like you need to be restricted just to local to be able to work together. Yeah.
That's the world we live in, global, virtual.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I will repeat, as I've been saying in all the other videos, that there's an opportunity for me to support you here in Paris. If you want to transform at a core and permanent level, I'm not about, helping you feel good or make some short-term money. I want to support you over the long term. I want you to have core and permanent changes around your relationship with money and your relationship with your womanhood. So your womanhood to me includes all of it: your money, your sex, your femininity, your entire internal landscape, and you becoming the woman you want to be, not being like me or Adrienne or any of the other women here, but being the woman you want to be and doing what it takes in your world to have the life, the business, and the relationships that you love. So I have an opportunity for you to come here in Paris and work with me. It's called the Life in Paris Experience. I also have opportunity for you to work with me virtually. And the women who get the best results working with me, I'm talking about the women who start to have consistent $6K, $12K, $15,000 months in their business. These are visionary women entrepreneurs and women who are committed to the long term of having a consistent and sustainable, thriving business online, and who want to work virtually because you want the freedom to live anywhere in the world, like me and my clients. So in order to take advantage of that, you can email us at questions@theopulentlife.com. That will also be placed with this video. Again, questions@theopulentlife.com, and that's plural, questions@theopulentlife.com. And we will be returning here tomorrow for our final conversation with Angela, who's in Switzerland, and that's all about femininity, and is going to be heavy on the femininity and sexuality. So that's tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, we'll be back here. So mark your alarm so you'll be here live with us to ask questions about sex, sexuality, and wielding your powers as a feminine, as a woman, as Wendy Williams says. Not a woman, not a woman. Okay. So Adrienne, do you have anything in closing you'd like to share?
No, I mean, just to say thank you for, creating this community of women, and for you being you. Like, you are a light and a force, and I just love being around you. So thank you.
Thank you. I love to support other women and also becoming a force in their own lives. And I love what you said about, I forgot it. It was good though. So thank you for being here, Adrienne. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for being here. This has been such a joy and such a delight. And I'm really thrilled to have a front seat in the lives of those of you who I will get a chance to support and helping you make more money than you've ever made, and really transforming your inner game so that you can make the money and become the woman that you want to be. So lots of love. Adrienne, thank you so much for your brilliance and your awesomeness. And we'll be back here tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Au revoir from Paris.
Bye.